Michael stood in the conference room. His presentation was halfway done. He was explaining the quarterly numbers. Then his manager, Stephen, cut him off mid. "Yeah, we get IT. Can we move this along?" Michael stopped. He felt his face get hot. Everyone was looking. He laughed nervously. "Sorry, I'll speed up." He rushed through the rest. His hands shook. After the meeting, Stephen didn't even look at him. Just walked past like Michael was furniture. That night, Michael sat in his car in the parking lot. He didn't want to go home yet. He felt something heavy in his chest. Shame, anger, but mostly confusion. Why does this keep happening to me? 6 months later, same conference room. Stephen tried the same move. Cut Michael off mid. This time, Michael stopped talking. He didn't apologize. He didn't rush. He just looked at Stephen. 3 seconds of direct eye contact. Nitrogen monoxide smile. Nitrogen monoxide anger. Just looked. The room went quiet. Stephen shifted in his seat. "What? I'm just saying we should move on." Michael held the silence for 2 more seconds. Then he turned to the rest of the room. "As I was saying before I was interrupted," continued his presentation. Stephen didn't interrupt again. Not that day. Not ever again. What changed? Michael learned something. Something that Niccolò Machiavelli understood 500 years ago. Something most people will never figure out. Disrespect is not random. IT's a test. And you're either passing or failing every single day. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what Michael learned. The 3-step method that kills disrespect instantly, not temporarily, permanently. This comes from writings, from Carl Jung's psychology, from the darkest corners of human behavior that most people are too afraid to look at. By the end of this video, you'll understand why people disrespect you. You'll know the exact moment IT starts, and you'll have the precise tools to stop it forever. But first, you need to understand something uncomfortable, something true. You are teaching people to disrespect you. Right now. Today. With your words. With your silence. With your smile when you should be stopped. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, IT will direct your life, and you will call IT fate. Most people think disrespect just happens to them. Like bad weather. Like catching a cold. No. You are creating it. You are the architect of your own humiliation. Let me show you how. Every single day, you run into small moments. Tiny tests. Someone shows up 15 minutes late to meet you. They don't apologize. They don't even acknowledge IT. What do? If you say no problem or don't worry about IT, you just failed the test. You just taught them that your time has nitrogen monoxide value, that they can waste it without consequence. Oh, or someone makes a joke at your expense. Everyone laughs, including you. You laugh because you don't want to be that guy. The serious one. The one who can't take a joke. But that joke was a probe. They were testing your fence, seeing if you'd defend your territory. You didn't. You laughed. You invited them to do IT again. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, "Men are less concerned about offending someone they have made themselves loved by than one who makes himself feared." Read that again. People disrespect those they don't fear. Not physical fear. Fear of losing access to you. Fear of consequences. If there is nitrogen monoxide consequence for disrespecting you, why would they stop? Think about the last time someone truly disrespected you. Maybe IT was your boss. Maybe your partner. Maybe a friend. What happened right before that moment? I'll tell you what happened. There were smaller disrespects that you ignored. 10 of them. 20. 100. Each one was a brick. You watched them build a wall. And you said nothing. You smiled. You stayed friendly. Then one day, the disrespect got so big, you couldn't ignore it anymore. And you felt shocked. Betrayed. How could they treat me this way? They treated you that way because you trained them too. Every time you accepted a small disrespect, you gave permission for a bigger one. This is what I call the Disrespect Thermostat. HAS1. IT set in your subconscious. It's the level of mistreatment you're comfortable with. If you grew up in a house where people jade, your thermostat is set high. Yelling feels normal. If someone is calm but slightly dismissive, you might not even notice that. But if someone yells, you think this is fine? This is just how people talk. If you grew up in a peaceful home, your thermostat is set low. Someone raises their voice slightly, and you feel it immediately. Something is wrong. Most people never reset their thermostat, who accept whatever level they were programmed for. And they suffer. For years. For decades. For their entire lives. But you can change IT today. Right now, with the method I'm about to show you. This method has 3 parts. 3 steps I call IT, the DDD Method. Detect, deflect, demonstrate. Detect means, you see the disrespect of the moment? IT happens. Not 3 days later, when you're in the shower replaying the conversation. Right there, in real time. Deflect means you neutralize it without fighting. You don't get angry. You don't argue. You become something else. Something they can't touch. Demonstrate means you show them the consequence. Not with words, with action, with your presence, or with your absence. These 3 steps, done correctly, will change your life. I'm not exaggerating. People who learn this method report back to me months later. They say the same thing. I can't believe I lived my whole life not knowing this. But before we go deeper into each step, you need to understand why disrespect happens at all. What's the psychology behind humans are pack animals? We're always measuring hierarchy. Who is above me? Who is below me? Who do I need to respect? Who can I disregard? This happens unconsciously. When someone meets you, their brain is running calculations. It's asking questions. Does this person have power? Does this person have options? Does this person enforce boundaries? They test you. They push slightly. They watch your reaction. If you hold firm, their brain classifies you as respect. If you fold, their brain classifies you as safe to exploit. This isn't evil. IT's not personal. It's just biology. It's survival programming from when we lived in caves. The person who couldn't defend their territory got their food stolen. Their shelter taken. They died. We're not in caves anymore. But the programming is still there. Running in the background, invisible, but always active. Machiavelli understood this. He wrote Sin Semen, a sorry lot and will not keep their promises to you. You likewise need not keep yours to them. He's not saying be a liar. He's saying understand reality. Most people will push boundaries if they think they can get away with IT. Your job is to make sure they can't. In the next section, I'm going to break down the first D detect. I'm going to show you the 3 tests that disrespectful people always run. And I'm going to show you how to see them coming before they land. Stay with me. This is where IT gets practical. Let me introduce you to the 3 tests. These are the probes that people use to see if you're prey or predator. If you can detect these, you'll never be blindsided again. Test number 1, the interruption test. You're talking, mid-sentence, they cut you off. They start talking about something else. Or they finish your sentence for you. Or they just talk over you. This is not accidental. This is move. They're checking if you'll defend your space. Most people do nothing. They stop talking. They let the other person take over. They tell themselves it's not a big deal. Or they're just excited. Wrong IT is a big deal. And they're not excited, they're testing. Michael's manager Steven did this constantly. In every meeting, He would interrupt people. Some people would stop talking immediately. Those people never got promoted. The people who kept talking, who didn't acknowledge the interruption, those people he respected. Test number 2, the availability test. They text you. You respond in 5 minutes. They take 6 hours to respond back. Or they cancel plans last minute. Or they show up late without apology. They're checking if your time has value. If you keep accepting this behavior, you're telling them your time is worthless. I watched this happen to my friend David. He was dating a woman. She would cancel on him constantly. 2 hours before the date, something came up. He would say, "Nitrogen monoxide worries, let's reschedule after 4 cancellations." She stopped respecting him completely. She started treating him like a backup plan. Because he showed her that his time meant nothing. Test number 3. The boundary test. They make a small request. Can you lend me $20? Can you help me move this weekend? Can you cover my shift? The request itself isn't the test. Your response is, if you say yes when you want to say nitrogen monoxide, they learn something. They learn you're afraid to disappoint them. They learn they can push you. Next time, the request gets bigger. Can you lend me $500? Can you help me move and bring your truck and take a day off work? Can you cover my shift 3 times this week? Where does IT end? IT doesn't. Not until you stop IT. Carl Jung taught about the shadow, the dark parts of yourself that you hide. He said, everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser IT is. What does this mean for disrespect? IT means the reason you can't handle disrespect is because you, hidden your capacity for aggression. You've buried your ability to say nitrogen monoxide. Pushed your boundaries so deep into your shadow that you don't even know where they are anymore. You need to integrate your shadow. You need to know that you could be dangerous, that you could hurt them, that you could walk away, and you choose not to. That choice is where your power lies. Now let's move to the second D. Deflect. WHEN. Someone disrespects you. Your first instinct is to react, to get angry, to defend yourself, to explain why they're wrong. Don't. That's what they want. They want to know they can control your emotions. When you react, you prove they have power over you. Instead, you deflect. You become what I call the void. Let me show you exactly how this works. Someone insults you. Must be nice to work from home. I guess some people have it easy. Your old response would be to defend. Actually, I work really hard. I start at 7 a.m. and I stop. You're explaining, you're justifying, you're handing them ammunition. The void responds. You stop. You turn. You look at them. 3 seconds of direct eye contact. Nitrogen monoxide expression. Nitrogen monoxide smile. Nitrogen monoxide anger. Just observation. Then you say nothing. You turn back to what you were doing. What just happened? You didn't give them anything to work with. They threw a ball at you. The ball disappeared. They're confused. They're unsettled. Or try. Tetany. It's called fogging. When they insult you, you agree with them. But in a way, that removes all power from their words. You're so weird. Absolutely. It's one of my better qualities. You're being difficult. You're right. I am being difficult. Specifically, I'm being difficult for you. See what happened? You took the weapon out of their hand. They wanted to hurt you. Instead, you transformed their attack into nothing. Into fog. The Stoic philosopher said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you deflect, instead of react, you maintain all your power. You stay in control. They gave their power away by attacking. You kept yours by not engaging. But here's what most people miss. Deflection only works if you truly don't care. If you're pretending not to care while you're screaming inside, they'll see through it. This is why the internal work matters. This is why you need to fix your disrespect thermostat. First, let me give you a visualization. Imagine you're a mountain. Someone throws a rock at you. Does the mountain care? Does the mountain react? Does the mountain explain itself? No. The mountain stands. The rock bounces off. The mountain remains. That's what you become. Immovable. Not because you're trying to be tough, but because their opinion genuinely does not matter to you. Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." But I'll add to that, that which does not kill us only makes us stronger if we learn from it, if we let disrespect teach us where our boundaries should be. Now, here's where IT gets interesting. There are levels to deflection. 3 levels. Each one more powerful than the last. Level 1, the pause. You stop, you look, you say nothing for 3 seconds, then you continue as if they didn't speak. This works for casual disrespect, the kind that's testing the waters. Level 2, the question. They make a passive-aggressive comment. Instead of reacting, you ask them to explain IT. What do you mean by that? Say it with genuine curiosity. Nitrogen monoxide, anger. Nitrogen monoxide, sarcasm. Make them unpack their disrespect. Watch what happens. They have to either commit to the insult openly, which makes them look bad, or they have to back down. "Oh, nothing. Just joking." Either way, you win. Level 3, the mirror. This is advanced. They insult you. You repeat it back to them as an observation. "So you think I'm lazy? That's interesting." Then you pause. Let them sit in their own words. Let the awkwardness be theirs, not yours. Machiavelli said, "The wise man does it once, what the fool does finally." Most people eventually stand up for themselves, but only after years of abuse. After they've been pushed past their breaking point. After they explode, the wise man sets the boundary immediately. The first time, before resentment builds, before the relationship is poisoned, here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Some people will disrespect you specifically because you're good, because you're kind, because you have something they want and don't have. Arthur Schopenhauer wrote, "Hatred is an affair of the heart, contempt, that of the head." Some people don't hate you. They hold you in contempt. They look at you and see someone who won't fight back, someone who's safe to attack, someone who'll take IT and smile. You have to make yourself unsafe to disrespect, not through violence, not through aggression, through consequence. Which brings us to the third D. Demonstrate. Demonstrate means showing them the cost. Not telling them, showing them. Words are cheap. Explanations are weakness. If you disrespect me again, I'll stop. You just negotiated with a terrorist. Machiavelli wrote, "Men ought either to be well treated or crushed, because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries. Of more serious ones, they cannot." In modern terms, this means either be kind or be gone. There's nitrogen monoxide middle ground. When someone crosses your boundary repeatedly, you don't warn them. You remove yourself. Let me tell you about Sarah. She had a friend named Jessica. Jessica would cancel plans constantly. Last minute. Every time. For 2 years, Sarah said IT's okay. Will reschedule. Then Sarah learned this method. Next time Jessica canceled, Sarah said, "Okay. Nitrogen monoxide, emotion. Nitrogen monoxide, it's fine. Just okay." Jessica texted her the next week. "Wanna grab coffee? Sarah, I'm busy." "Jessica, how about Thursday?" Sar AH. Also busy. This went on for 3 weeks. Finally, Jessica Kaded. Are you mad at me? SAR, A-H. Nitrogen monoxide. I'm just busy with people who keep their commitments. Jessica never canceled on her again, because Sarah demonstrated the consequence. Access to Sarah became scarce. Scarce things have value. This is the principle of scarcity. It's basic economics. I tease basic psychology. Robert Greene, in the 48 Laws of Power, says, "The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. When someone disrespects you, you become less available, not to punish them, not to manipulate them, to protect yourself, to recalibrate the relationship. You stop initiating. You stop responding immediately. You stop being the one who always reaches out. You create space. In that space, one of two things happens. Either they notice and change their behavior, or they don't notice and you realize they never valued you anyway. Both outcomes are good. One saves the relationship. The other saves you from wasting more time. Let me give you the exact steps for demonstration. Step 1. Remove immediate access. When they text, you don't respond right away. Not out of spite, but because you're genuinely busy building a life that doesn't revolve around them. Step 2. Stop initiating. You don't call. You don't make plans. You don't check in. You become neutral, polite but distant. Step 3. Watch their response. Do they notice? Do they ask what's wrong? Do they try harder? Or do they disappear completely? Their response tells you everything you need to know about the relationship. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You cannot control whether they disrespect you, but you control whether you stay in range of their disrespect. Now let me show you the difference between punishment and consequence. This is critical. Punishment is emotional. It's designed to hurt them. I'm not talking to you because I want you to feel bad. Consequence is neutral. It's designed to protect you. I'm not talking to you because talking to you costs me peace. Punishment is the silent treatment. It's manipulation. Consequence is strategic withdrawal. Respect. It's boundary enforcement. Can you feel the difference? One is weak. One is strong. When Michael stopped letting Stephen interrupt him, he wasn't punishing Stephen. He was demonstrating that his words had value. That interrupting him meant missing important information. Stephen learned quickly. Not because Michael explained it to him, but because Michael showed him. Here's where most people fail. They demonstrate consequence once, maybe twice. Then they cave. The person apologizes or guilt trips them, and they fold. Okay, fine. Let's go back to normal. You just taught them that your boundaries are negotiable, that if they push hard, you'll break. Don't break. Hold the line, Machiavelli said. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. If you truly want respect, you must be willing to lose the relationship. That's the price. You cannot negotiate respect with someone who's holding your fear of loneliness hostage. Let me tell you what happened to David, the guy whose girlfriend kept canceling on him. After she canceled the 4th time, he decided to try this method. He didn't call her. He didn't text. He didn't explain. He just went quiet. 3 days later, she texted, "Hey, are you mad?" He replied 6 hours later, "No." That was just nitrogen monoxide. She called him. He didn't answer. She texted again. "Can we talk?" He replied the next day, "I'm busy this week." Now, here's what's important. David wasn't playing games. He genuinely started focusing on himself. He went to the gym. He called old friends. He worked on his business. He built a life that didn't need her. After 2 weeks, she showed up at his apartment. "What's going on?" "You've been distant," David said. "I realized I was making you a priority while I was an option for you. That doesn't work for me anymore," she cried. She apologized. She promised to change. And here's the key. David didn't immediately forgive her. He said, "I need to see change." "Not here. Promises. Show me." She did. For the next 3 months, she never canceled once. She showed up early. She made efforts. Because David demonstrated that access to him was a privilege, not a right. Now, I need to tell you something uncomfortable. Some people will leave when you start enforcing boundaries. Some relationships will end. Good. Those relationships were already over. You were just too afraid to see it, Carl Jung said. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there's any reaction, both are transformed. Real relationships can handle boundaries. Real respect can handle you standing up for yourself. If someone leaves because you have self-respect, they were never there for you. They were there to use you. Let them go. Make space for people who treat you correctly from the beginning. Here's the framework. The DDD Method, in action. Detect so on interrupts. You, in a meeting. Deflect. You stop talking. 3 seconds of eye contact. Then, you continue exactly where you left off. As I was saying, demonstrate. Next meeting, when they try to interrupt again, you don't stop talking. You raise your voice slightly and finish your point. You've shown them interruption doesn't work anymore. Detect someone cancels plans. Last minute. Deflect. Okay. Nitrogen monoxide emotion. Nitrogen monoxide IT's fine. Demonstrate. Next time they invite you somewhere, you're busy. Consistently busy. 4 weeks. Until they prove they're reliable. Detect a joke at your expense. Deflect. You don't laugh. You look at them. What do you mean by that? Demonstrate. You distance yourself from that person. Less interaction. Less warmth. They feel the chill. This is the method. Simple, but not easy. IT requires you to value yourself more than you value being liked.